So let's talk the National Cleantech Innovation Challenge 2026 now, an initiative from the South African side of things. So the country is facing growing pressure at provincial level as challenges such as energy insecurity, grid constraints, climate impacts on agriculture, urban waste management and job losses linked to mining and industrial changes continue to affect communities. In response, this National Cleantech Innovation Challenge has opened applications for 2026, introducing 9 province-specific challenges aimed at addressing key development and market gaps. For more on what this initiative means for innovation, as well as entrepreneurs in the country of South Africa, we're joined by Tervern Jaftha, CEO of and founder of Startup Culture. Tervern, thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Asanda, and good morning to your listeners.
We appreciate your time this morning. So, firstly, give us background on the National Cleantech Innovation Challenge 2026. We understand that it is introducing province-specific challenges. So, with that background, please maybe perhaps also tell us why it's important that it allows for each province a unique expression.
No. Again, Asanda, like you might know, all our provinces are different. They have different nuance, they have different experiences, lived experiences. So in crafting and designing the National Cleantech Innovation Challenge, we had to look at what is the specific challenges that affects climate change within that specific province. If you look at the Eastern Cape, it has specific challenges different from Limpopo province, different from the Western Cape, different from the Northern Cape. So with a team of experts, and with community and with different stakeholders in the different provinces, we then designed the National Cleantech Innovation Challenge around the 9 nuanced challenges, 9 specific constraints, and the impact that climate change is having in the different provinces. For an example, if you look at the Eastern Cape again, we looked at the issue of waste to value. So how do you convert waste that sits within our landfill sites, waste that is been generated by communities? How do you convert that into value-added products, but more importantly, converting waste into energy? And if you look at the Northern Cape has been identified as the key province that's going to drive just energy transition for many reasons. It has the highest percentage of raise in terms of production by the sun, and also it has the combination and the sun. So there, the issue is how do we move energy into inland centers, inland provinces using technology. So we had to look at the different provinces from a different angle to make sure that when we deploy the different challenges, we can garner different solutions coming from scientists, innovators, entrepreneurs, community members that are able to come up with solutions to solve these major challenges that is impacting climate change and impacting our communities. And we've seen the impact of climate change recently. Look at the floods that has happened, the devastating floods that has happened in Limpopo. Look at the issues that is the snow in KZN that has also created a lot of havoc in KZN, and then in the Eastern Cape, we've also been seeing the impact of floods and what it has done in our community. So when we curated these 9 challenges, we had to look at how do we solve these problems using innovation and technology coming from our communities and our entrepreneurs and scientists.
And the significance of localizing that can be heard from what you've just told us there clearly. From an entrepreneurship's perspective, what are the opportunities that lie in this challenge for startups?
So, like any other program, we always want our innovators or entrepreneurs to come up with solutions looking at the problem. I always say to entrepreneurs, if you solve a problem, you make money. So in this case, we're looking at what we call wicked problems. It's big problems. It's problems that if we don't solve it, it might have other consequences on our economy. So for the entrepreneurs, innovators that would join this challenge, we have curated a set of investment stack that will allow them to move from ideation right into commercialization, going into the deployment of their solutions into market. So like any other innovation, when it sits sometimes on the shelves of our science councils, it's not being deployed. For this challenge, we're looking at deploying these solutions across the provinces, in municipalities, in industry, to make sure that these challenges do address the problems that we've identified. Let me give an example. If you look at, for instance, the challenge of transmitting energy from the Northern Cape, Eastern Cape, and the Western Cape. They are the three provinces that are able to produce renewable energy, but the challenge remains, how do you transmit that energy into inland, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Free State? So what we're trying to do is, how do we get innovators and entrepreneurs to solve problems like grid boosting technology that can allow these three other provinces that has an abundance of renewable energy to be able to push it into inland using technology and using their solutions, and then deploying that solutions into an ESCOM, deploying that solution into municipalities to help them with the transmission challenge that we're currently facing in South Africa. We've overcome to a large extent the generation challenge that we had, generating the energy. Now the next challenge that we need to confront is, how do we transmit that energy to where it is needed so that we can avoid things like load reduction. We believe that there is solutions that can be developed by these entrepreneurs, and on top of that, how do we deploy them and how do we make sure that we finance their solutions adequately so that they are able to not only place it within a market segment, but also being able to generate revenue from their solutions.
So how do we do that then to make sure that innovation realistically can deal with these
Yeah.
challenges at the scale that it's needed? So the kind of support systems that will be critical to ensure that the solutions come up with or that have emerged from this are scalable and sustainable.
Ooh, very good question. So what we've done is we've curated 9 specific what we call implementing partners. And these implementing partners are seasoned in terms of providing a suite of implementation and development services, from helping the entrepreneur from designing the solution, or let me say improving the solution where we see there's gaps in the solution, using our science councils, our universities. And in that stack of implementing partners, you have University of Johannesburg, you have Saratech that sits in this Central University of Technology, you have universities in the Western Cape, universities like Salt Lake University that will help us in terms of the technology, diffusion technology, design technology development. Then you also have a set of implementing partners that is very seasoned in what we call product market fit. They have years of experience in terms of working with entrepreneurs and innovators to not only now having the technology, having the product, but also now how do you build financial models or smart financial models and business models around that to work with these entrepreneurs that will be selected to be able to now have the business model for them to be able to generate the revenue.
Right.
Moving them from product market or problem solution fit, product market fit, into deploying the solution into the market and where the solution can be is much needed. Then we have a
Right.
set of partners within the group or that has been curated that are seasoned in terms of financial readiness and investment readiness. So they are a team that has years of experience on how to get revenue into the entrepreneur, being able to make sure that their investment stack is sound, getting them the right finance at the right time, at the right ticket size, and then helping them through that journey. On the financing side, we are currently we are close to reaching our first cap of raise. So we have raised so far just close to about 50 million. The
Awesome.
second phase of our is to raise about 160 million. And so we're also in the process of going into the market, speaking to different partners, different companies, different financial institutions, different venture capital financing limited partners, angel finances, to say, on top of what we are raising, can you come alongside us to be able to raise so that we have the right capital available at risk, Because sometimes in South
Right.
Africa, we don't have the right risk capital instruments. So we're raising the risk capital instruments through the Technology Innovation Agency. They will make available all their instruments, their risk instruments, early stage risk instruments. And
Right.
then,
And
like I
yeah,
said, we have
Tervern,
partners that
we're
will
going to have
raise.
to leave it there. And we really appreciate your insights. And a great challenge this is. I'm sure you'll reach that target. And we thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much.
Great. That's Tervern Jaftha. I wish we could speak for longer, but we are completely out of time. So he is CEO and founder of Startup Culture. They've opened applications there for the 2026. It's called the National Cleantech Innovation Challenge for South Africa.